General Phillips, I want to get to a very important question. Pakistan and the UK's cooperation has been remarkably good. It has significantly improved, especially in the areas of international development support and CT operations. Which areas still need more focus between Pakistan and the United Kingdom?
Well, as you pointed out, Zain, traditionally, historically, and in recent years, the relationship between Pakistan and the UK has remained very close, and there are lots of well-known reasons for that. And it's heartwarming, frankly, to maintain such closeness during such a turbulent period throughout the world, not just for the violence in Afghanistan and counter-terrorism and everything else, but as Rana pointed out before, through sort of all sorts of crises, not least of which is the current one. And one hopes that from that platform, as we hopefully move beyond the COVID crisis, there'll be lots of areas for expansion. The area that really should take off from here on is trade. Trade and economic relationships. Pakistan's economy is changing. It's changed a lot in recent years. There are areas where the tech sector, for example, is starting to grow, industry starting to grow. Pakistan is looking to be an exporter in all sorts of different areas. The diaspora in the UK is generally a prosperous and industrious diaspora, very closely linked with all aspects of UK society and all of that. And there's a lot to be gained from moving beyond the sort of the aid, the development to trading as complete equals in here for economic prosperity. I suspect there are other areas where the security relationship can probably develop as well. I mean, we're looking at a world that needs to think very carefully about its resilience, its health resilience, and health resilience as an area of national security. And there are areas there where the UK and Pakistan can continue to develop thinking and develop best practices and work together.
Mr. Rana Javed, would you like to give your analysis on Pakistan's cooperation and partnership with the United Kingdom?
Yeah, absolutely, because I have witnessed many cooperations from outside, actually, as a student of political science. We do observe the foreign and security relation between the countries, and I can categorically say that there is a great room actually to work along with Pakistan and other diaspora, and of course with the private companies, public-private partnership. There are many companies in Britain and also in Pakistan that they can work together. It's only a matter of taking initiative, actually. I know the procedures that had been in the past maybe cumbersome and unstructured, but at the moment the things are better, clear. The foreign investors are greatly encouraged. And also, joint ventures, JVs are really possible. I would say that not only to improve the security relation, but in the field of technology, building Pakistan's capacity in the field of healthcare and clean water, for example, and also in the area of special, I would say, that to building low income housings. This is the area which has opened up in the past couple of years, with the Prime Minister's promise to give more homes to the low income people, and there are many other areas, to be honest, from real estate to security. But I think we need in Pakistan technological advancement, whatever UK had to share with Pakistan, and experience they have in capacity building in terms of healthcare, because healthcare has tested of all countries, and unfortunately the signs have been very bleak and during this COVID-19 thing. So I think there is a need to develop implementation plan, actually, because there is one thing that we give an idea and you proceed with it, and then something happens and it stops. We must find a way between the two countries to have more joint ventures, public-private partnership, and just start it, because even starting with the prototype projects would work, because it takes time for a discussion after discussion, and then sometimes something happens bureaucratically and it doesn't go through. So I think my suggestion would be, in terms of taking a plan, finding a partner, and go for it. This is the way I think we'll start moving towards long-lasting partnership.
I mean, there are already lots and lots of joint Anglo-Pakistani businesses and business programs and things like that. You know, I sat at an all-party parliamentary group a little while ago, just listening to some extremely interesting discussion around construction projects, housing projects, and things like this. And if we can get to the point where the governments are actively supporting this sort of interaction, I mean, you mentioned technology. I think technology is an area where there can be a huge amount of interaction to share some of the things. I know that at the moment Pakistan is got some of the great coders and the great software companies operating in places like the Punjab, where there are already business interactions. The more we can do around that, the better.
General Phillips, I want to get to the last question. As we've been discussing in the show, the remarkable cooperation and relationship and ties between Pakistan and the United Kingdom, would you like to give, in the last question, would you like to give some recommendations on the future and on how to improve further the ties between Pakistan and the United Kingdom? Yes.
Well, I think at the very top of government, again, as nations get beyond the extreme pain of dealing with the immediate crisis, governments need to lift their eyes to the horizon and look at their place in the globe for all the reasons we just discussed. And one of the things that our two governments can do is talk constructively about a plan. And Rana made this point earlier, and it's really important to have a plan going forwards as to strategically, what are we going to do together, not just for each other, but for the region. And that plan will involve discussions around foreign policy, not least of which, of course, is Afghanistan. But of course, there's lots of foreign policy shared interests around the Middle East, where Pakistan is extremely influential, and with all around Asia and China and the relationship with India, all those foreign policy areas. And all of that flows into the points I was trying to make earlier around how do you operationalize that in terms of trade, the economy, prosperity, sharing technological, industrial progress, and all those sort of things. And that would all fall out of a top-level plan in many respects. In terms of security cooperation, I think security cooperation has remained as pretty much as close as good as it could be. I know, for example, our army still has an extraordinarily close relationship with the Pakistani army. The leaders of our army and armed forces probably spend as much, if not more, time interacting with their opposite numbers in Pakistan than almost any other nation in the world, in many respects, and that should be sustained.
Thank you so much, General Phillips.